Welcome everybody to Boulevard City in Riyadh. It is press conference day. We are just 48 hours away from the last crescendo, a card that is absolutely packed with unbelievable fights. It's something we've been looking forward to for a very long time now, and finally it is here. Alongside me I've got Matt Macklin and Johnny Nelson, and over the course of the next hour or so we are hoping to be hearing from all the fighters on the card. That's a bit cryptic, and the reason is that this is going to be split into two press conferences. The second half is Beterbiev against Bivol and Dubois against Parker, but the news today is that there could be a problem with that fight between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. Strong rumours circulating, yet to be confirmed, that Daniel Dubois may have gone down with some kind of illness and be unable to fight, and that they're on the lookout already for a replacement. I don't really know what to say, to be honest, because cards get set, and for something to change like this at this late stage is so unusual.
I mean, in terms of replacement, at least it's a heavyweight, and you're going to have more options therefore, because otherwise, 48 hours notice for someone in one of the lower divisions that has to make weight would be very, very difficult indeed to get any kind of a credible replacement. But when you look around the heavyweight division at the minute, I can think of Martin Bakole. I'm sure he'd pretty jump to he'd bite the hand off to get the chance. Joe Joyce scheduled to box next week anyway, so he's fit, he's ready, he could jump in. He's already beaten Parker, so it would give Parker a chance for redemption there. Daniel Dubois, very unfortunate, what a shame, but there's too much at stake for him to fight if he's not 100%.
And the thing is, a couple of days ago there was some kind of fake news thing going around about the fight being off, and that was, I think they got opponents mixed up, and it was Schofield and Stevenson. So now this is a conversation. It's not a done deal. I know Daniel's seen the doctor this afternoon or about now, so it's not that he's out, it's that there's a possibility out. I think the news got out because they've got to ask for potential opponents. I gather Martin McCauley has said, I want the fight. I think that would be a great replacement, but I've a funny feeling it's not going to happen in a million years, because he's in the Who Needs Him club. Nobody wants him because he's a handful. He's probably the only heavyweight that's out there that's said he's hurt and hit and knocked out fights, and nobody's denied it. So now it's what you're left with. We're talking like this is like the top of the bill. It's not even top of the bill. That's how powerful this card is, because the chief support in Parker and Dubois is in the balance. It's still exciting, still attractive. We come on at 4 o'clock. Sky, I think 4:45. It's Smith and Boazzi. 5:45. It's Gilles Zhang. It's still a good card, but this is the drama what boxing brings.
It's still a great card, isn't it, Andy? The only thing, it probably was the main attraction from the UK casual fan point of view, wasn't it, Dubois Parker?
Well, a heavyweight clash is always big news, isn't it? And they're both on a tremendous run of form, two real form fighters from Riyadh season, and we were very much looking forward to it. We'll have to wait until the second half of the press conference to confirm exactly what is going on, but we know that there is a problem because they are on the lookout, or they are sounding out potential replacements. I said it's really unusual because it is, but it's the second one of the week, actually, because Floyd Schofield has pulled out of his fight with Shakur Stevenson a couple of days ago now, late Tuesday night that would have been, I think, somewhere around there, and Josh Padley has stepped up and he is here. He's taken his seat on the table behind us, and there's just nothing quite like boxing, is there? Because we get drama of different descriptions that other sports they just don't have.
Yeah, because it's an individual sport, it's a combat sport, so training's high impact, high intensity, injuries a lot, not unlikely, and if you get ill, it's not like you can just put a substitute in or something like that. You are the team, aren't you? So,
and the other thing about our sport is this: you prepare for one day. It's not like you can say you can do it next week and you're going to perform just as good. It's not like football. You're off today, you're going to play on Wednesday. Boxers prepare for one day. You can squeeze it to 1 week to perform to the best of your ability. That's why our sport's so unique. It's it's such a roller coaster. They say it's the only sport you negotiate after you've signed the contract. That's what boxing is, but that's why it's so exciting.
No, that art in itself, that manoeuvre that you have to pull off of peaking for an hour basically, and you're aiming towards it for 12 weeks. It'll be absolutely devastating for Dubois if he were to fall at the final hurdle, if you like, because he's looked great all week, hasn't he? They both have, him and Joseph Parker. People have been remarking during the week how good they look, but something gets into you late on, and it's just one of those things. It can be. Anyway, as I say, we don't have it completely confirmed yet, so we don't want to put the horse before the cart, but we will know before too long. The rest of the fights, I mentioned that Bivol and Beterbiev, Dubois and Parker, they're the second part of the press conference. Everybody else is assembled, pretty much ready to go behind this. There are so many good fights on this card. One that we haven't probably talked about all that much is Ortiz against Madrimov, because we're looking more maybe at the UK side of things. Great story with Padley against Shakur Stevenson. Another heavyweight fight with Zhilei Zhang and Agit Kabayel. It's just oozing with class. Here's Thomas Schreiber.
Welcome to the final press conference for the last crescendo, a great night of World Championship Boxing to be held this Saturday from ANB Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Turkey, Al Sheikh. This great event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Gold Star Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Boxer, World of Boxing, Warriors Boxing, and Sella. Along with our great sponsors, Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, Saudia Airlines, New Murabba Development Company, Taounia, Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Al Tanfidi. A big thanks to those great sponsors. It will be shown worldwide and in the UK on DAZN, and also in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office and Sky Sports Box Office. And now at this time, I hand things over to your host, Mr. Dev Sani.
Thank you. Thank you for the clap there, Eddie, as well. That was lovely. Thank you. Let's hear it for Thomas Schreiber, by the way. Brilliant MC in town. Give him a wave, Thomas. Lovely stuff. Well, hello. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final press conference for the last crescendo. This is an event that many people are calling from top to bottom the greatest fight card put together in the history of this sport. Each fight has its own unique story. Each fighter has their own unique journey to bring them here today. We've got fighters here fighting for belts, for legacy, for glory. Some are fighting to cause the upset. Some are fighting for revenge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the card of all cards, and we are now under 48 hours away until we reach the last crescendo. Well, let's start by speaking to some of the people who have made this incredible show happen. I'll start with Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren, and Frank will speak about the main event and co-main event in the next part. But let's speak about this incredible show that we've got, and particularly for you, Hamza Shiraz fighting for a WBC world title, and Zhilei Zhang in action as well against Agit Kabayel.
Thank you to the people and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to His Excellency Daniel Sheikh and Gina and all our partners who have helped to make this a bring this brilliant event together. So we've got this unbelievable group of fighters in amazing fights. Every one of these fights is a brilliant fight. Fight fans paradise. My Queensberry fighters are on the card. As Dev just said, Hamza, he's in a great fight with Barnes, a real good quality champion. This is a great opportunity for Hamza, a really big opportunity. We're very proud of what he's done. He is Queensberry through and through. All he's ever done from the start is gone out to prove himself. What a great fighter he can become, and each fight along the way he's got better and better. And I think if there's ever going to be his moment to become a world champion, this is it. So this should be going to be a fabulous fight, 50-50 fight. We've got a great heavyweight fight on the undercard. Big Bang Jang, and he's with Aji. And again, what a great fight this is. Two really good quality heavyweights, both top 10 ranked. And the winner is going to get himself into a position where he's going to become a mandatory for the title. So they've got everything to gain. Again, a 50-50 fight, and the winners will be the fans watching this. The rest of the card is just a brilliant card, and I'm sure everybody along the tables will tell you how they're going to win it and the performances they're going to be putting up. But I promise you, this is the card of the century.
Top stuff. Thank you, Frank. Let's bring in Eddie Hearn. And Eddie, I've heard you speak with amazement about the quality of this card. Plenty of matchroom interest as well. Shakur Stevenson, late change of an opponent. Of course, you've got Israel Madrimov and Callum Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Dev. Good evening, everybody. I feel lucky. I don't know about you guys. I feel like a fight fan that's just going to have one of the greatest nights on Saturday. The opportunity to sit there and watch, without doubt, the greatest fight card we've ever seen. So many great fights, and the opportunity for the sport of boxing to keep expanding, to keep growing around the world. If we keep producing nights like this through Riyadh season, the sport is going to continue to grow. And His Excellency is doing so and leading the way with tremendous passion, but he's also doing it in a way that is truly respecting the fighters. I want to focus firstly from our side on the WBC Lightweight World Championship between Shakur Stevenson and Josh Padley. As we know, Floyd Schofield was withdrawn from the fight from the British Boxing Board of Control on Tuesday. It's a disaster for a show. It's a disaster for a promoter, because somehow we've got to find a replacement for Shakur Stevenson. He's been training for 12 weeks. He's ready to fight. And we did that in a way that really warmed my soul, because there was no doubt from His Excellency that he wanted to make sure Shakur Stevenson fought on Saturday. But in doing that, we also gave a life-changing opportunity to another fighter in Josh Padley. A guy that was in training, a guy that was ready for that phone call that got him out of bed and on a plane the next day for an opportunity to fight for a world title and financially secure himself. And in this sport, that it has to be the aim. Fighters have to strive for legacy, but at the same time, they have to make sure that financially they can live a great life after boxing. And we really wish the best of luck to Josh Padley, and I want to thank His Excellency for personally allowing this fight to continue. The man on my left, I think greatness is a word that is thrown around a lot in boxing now. I think greatness is a fantastic word for Shakur Stevenson. As a young man who's already a 3-division world champion, I believe this is a guy that can go down in the footsteps of quality, like a Leonard, like a Pernell Whitaker, like a Mayweather. For me, this is one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters on the planet now. And there's so much more to give. He's not even scraped the surface in terms of his ability, his quality, and the legacy that he will produce in the sport. So enjoy watching this young man tomorrow, because he's going to be at the top of boxing for a long time. Thanks to the team, Josh Dubin, Jay Prince, everybody, for making sure this man can showcase his skills on Saturday night. Also, Israel Madrimov against Virgil Ortiz. For me, I think this is the fight of the night. Israel Madrimov jumped in with Terence Crawford. You know how I feel about that fight. It was a very, very close fight. Virgil Ortiz is a fantastic fighter. Matchroom and Golden Boy duke heads in what is, for me, one of the best fights in the 154-pound division. And any time you start a fight card with Callum Smith against Joshua Buatsi, a fight that can headline the O2 in London, headline the Liverpool Arena, you know this is a fight card for the ages. Callum Smith Buatsi is one of the top British fights out on the scene, now at a world level. And we believe Callum Smith will be victorious in a tremendous fight, as we do Israel Madrimov, as we do Shakur Stevenson. Thank you for letting Matchroom and our great fighters be part of this moment in time, this moment in history on February the 22nd, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world. Sit back. If you're a fight fan, get ready for the greatest night you've ever witnessed. And if you're new to the sport, well, welcome. Don't get used to this every week, but enjoy your journey in boxing because it's the greatest sport in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Great stuff. Fantastic stuff. Let's hear from some of these fighters up here. There's young Muhammad Alakal, fight number 3 for him. And, I mean, I've only got really one question for you, Muhammad. I've seen the photos, I've seen the videos. You've been with Roberto Duran. What kind of tips have you picked up from that legend?
Yeah, hello everyone. The last 2 weeks of my camp I've been training with Roberto Duran. I've learned a lot from that experience, and hopefully I can showcase my skills come Saturday night.
By the way, Roberto Duran just arrived. Can we please get a round of applause for Hands of Stone, an absolute living legend. Our greatest living fighter is in the building. Great to see you, Roberto. Let's bring in Ziad Al-Mayouf. Now, Ziad, at the launch press conference, you gave such a passionate speech about Saudi boxing and being a flag bearer. How important is it for you to keep up your momentum on Saturday night?
Well, you know, first of all, I just want to welcome everyone and welcome the world on behalf of our leadership and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Saudi Arabia. So welcome everyone to Saudi Arabia. I want to thank our inspirational leadership, the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman, and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, for their vision in Vision 2030 that has inspired so many like me, and me especially, and the youth in this kingdom to make history. And that's what you should expect of me Saturday night, God willing. And also, not just the support, but the complete adoption of His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh for me, my career, and all Saudi boxers, including Mighty Mo here tonight with us together on the card. And you know, it's very important for me to keep my momentum. But what's more important for me is to keep reminding myself that this pressure that is on me is what has gotten me here today. I'm not a victim to the pressure. I'm a superhero because of that pressure. I get to stand for something. I get to give hope and make dreams come true and have others look up to me and try to achieve it even bigger and better. And since I'm on the world stage, I just want to say 2 things. You know, everyone always keeps telling me you need to start doing this for yourself. You need to start fighting this career for yourself. It wouldn't mean anything if I did it just for myself. What I love about this career is who I'm doing it for, the kingdom, the Arab world, the younger generation that are going to come after me and look up to Zizo. And the second thing is, to the world, if only 1% listen to this message, then I've done my job. Every single person you see on this card today and on this table is a great boxer, yes, but a much better fighter outside of the ring than they are inside of the ring. Whatever you are doing in life, if you want to be on this stage in whatever field you're in, you are going to be pushed to the brink of quitting, never giving up, and thinking it's not for you. Every single person on this table has felt it, and every single person is sitting on this table because they've pushed past it. So my message to the world is to just never give up, because I'm so glad everyone here, and myself especially, didn't.
Thank you. Brilliant stuff. I'll tell you, every time Ziad Al-Mayouf talks, I start getting chills. Fantastic speech there. Thank you so much, Ziad. Let's bring in Spencer Brown of Gold Star Promotions. And Spencer, you're involved, of course, in making all of this happen, but particularly you've got a couple of guys involved from your side, Hamza Shiraz and Ajit Kabayal.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to what I think will be a future heavyweight champion of the world. And the same with Hamza. Both guys are gentlemen. They're so nice to deal with. I mean, Hamza's an exemplary human being. It's a pleasure to work with, and for me, he's the best middleweight in the world at the moment. I know he's got Mr. Adamas to fight, who again I think he's an unbelievable fighter. I think it will be a mega fight. I don't think there'll be that much in it, but I think our man will become victorious. And our other fight as well, don't forget Joe Parker as well. We're just trying to sort that one out at the moment. And then I'm sitting next to what I think is a so underestimated fighter in Ajit Kabayel. He's proved he chops people down like wood. He's proved that on the big stage he can do it and do it really well. He, if he wins this, he's, you know, and the stars align, he's in for some massive fights. And I can't see too many people beating this guy. I really can't. So keep your hats on for Saturday. It is literally the best card you'll ever see. It's the best card you'll ever see. If you're going to buy pay-per-view, get it now. You know, I'm looking forward to all of it. There's some great fighters on this card, some great fights from top to bottom. Quality, quality, quality. It just screams at you. And this is a history-making card. So everybody here enjoy it. It's a sellout crowd. You can't buy a seat in the stadium. You can't get a seat or get a ticket anywhere. So this is one of the biggest events that Saudi's put on, and fair play to Turki Al Sheikh, because what he's done in this one, he's really pushed the boat out. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thank you, Spencer. Okay, listen, the reason why this fight is so, this card is so brilliant is that there are fights here which could headline anywhere, and this is one of them. Callum Smith, Joshua Buatsi, the WBO interim light heavyweight championship on the line. We've got a light heavyweight main event, and we've got this fascinating fight between these two guys fighting for the right. Firstly, let's bring in Ben Shalom, Joshua Buatsi's promoter here. And Ben, it's a big, important fight for your man, Josh.
It's a huge fight. First want to say thank you to His Excellency, thank you to Riyadh Season. It's an honour to be here. It's an incredible card. Even as a fan, Saturday night is going to be something very special. But the reason why we're here is Joshua Buatsi, is this man. It's been an unbelievable journey so far. It's been a flawless journey so far. He's been through the whole of the domestic scene, but now it's time to step up to elite level and world level. And Josh has been preparing for this moment since the fight has been announced. And Callum Smith truly is elite level. I believe this fight can steal the show. And I believe it's going to be a massive, massive statement for Joshua Buatsi, who has his eyes on the main event.
Thank you very much, Ben. Let's bring in Callum Smith, who is the challenger on Saturday night. And Callum, give us your thoughts on Joshua Buatsi. And tell me this, you being a former world champion, do you feel like you're a class above Joshua Buatsi?
Yeah, I just feel I'm the better fighter. I think, no, it's a good fight. Stylistically, it should be a good one, and I think the fact that it's on this show and sharing the stage with so many great fighters says how good the fighter is and the magnitude of the show and the occasion. But I'm fully focused on why I'm here, and that's to do a job and perform, showcase my skills, and ultimately get the win this weekend.
Well, Joshua, I know you are the interim champion and you very much want to become the full world champion. Tell us how you're feeling and tell us why you come away with the win on Saturday night.
It's a short message, Dev. We're 2 days away, so I'll see everyone Saturday, 22nd of February.
I was expecting a short message, to be honest, Joshua. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Callum Smith. Let's move to the heavyweight division, where we've got this fantastic WBC interim heavyweight championship clash. Zhilei Zhang, Ajit Kabayel. And I want to start with Ajit Kabayel here. Now, Zhilei was asked earlier in the week to give 3 reasons why he beats you. His reasons were bang, bang, bang. Tell us how you intend on dealing with Chinese power on Saturday.
First of all, thank you, Turki Al Sheikh, my manager Spencer Brown, and Queensberry Promotion. Yeah, I heard he says this more time he will bang me. Saturday we will see he bang me or I bang him.
Well, let's find out from Zhilei Zhang, who I'm sure has his own idea as to who will be banging who. Zhilei, you've made it pretty clear that you can knock out Ajit Kabayel. He's unbeaten. Tell us why you're so confident you will knock him out.
因为我的自信就来自于我的生活，来自于我的训练。 所以说周六我要办他。
Sorry, guys. My confidence comes from my training and my discipline. I'm going to bang him Saturday.
I'm big man. I bang you. No dealing.
Thank you, Gilles. Thank you, Ajit. Brilliant. Can't wait for that one. Yeah, just a brilliant heavyweight fight. Okay, let's move to the middleweight division where Carlos Adames, this is serious business, this fight, believe me. Carlos Adames, the WBC World Middleweight Champion, defends his crown against the challenger, Hamza Shiraz, the unbeaten challenger. And I'll come to you here, Hamza. I mean, this is the opportunity, the platform, everything you've been working for on Saturday, but also you've got an opponent here who has been pretty vocal in the build-up, saying he's going to take your head out.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank the Almighty Allah for allowing us to be here today. I'd like to thank Frank Warren, a man who's believed in me from when no one did. I'd like to thank Spencer Brown for everything. And yeah, Dev, this is what dreams are made of. When it comes to this level, listen, I've never been a man to say too many words or talk too much.
Okay, well, let's hear from your opponent, Carlos Adames, the champion. And Carlos, you have been referring to Hamza Shiraz as your next victim. You've said that you don't believe the hype. What are you thinking ahead of Saturday night?
Bueno, primeramente, muchísimas gracias a todos. Me siento muy contento de estar aquí, gran cartelera, representar mi país. Pienso que todavía no he enfrentado peleadores de calidad, peleadores de alto nivel. El primer peleador de alto nivel que va a enfrentar se supone que es el más peligroso de toda la división de los 160 y por eso lo voy a vencer fácil.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm really happy to be fighting on this card and really happy to represent my country. I believe that he hasn't fought any fighter with the skill level close to mine, and his first real fight will be against the best guy in the 160 division.
Okay, what's the prediction on Saturday?
Será una buena pelea, no tengo nada pronosticado, pero sé que será una buena pelea y no llegará a la decisión.
I'm sure it will be a very good fight, but it won't be a decision.
Thank you very much, Carlos Adames. Thank you, Hamza Shiraz. Let's move to a brilliant fight in the super welterweight division. Virgil Ortiz and Israel Madrimov, a little bit also of a golden boy against Matchroom here. I want to bring in the golden boy himself, Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, you've backed Virgil Ortiz, the man sat next to you from the very start, but this is a tough assignment on Saturday night.
Absolutely. It's a very, very difficult fight for both guys. Primeramente, quiero hablar en español para todos los fans, por todo el mundo viendo en vivo en The Zone el sábado, porque va a haber compadres de Panamá, de México, de Cuba, de España. Everybody's going to be watching across the globe, and this card, by far, is the best card that I've seen in decades. I remember Don King putting on cards with Mike Tyson, Trinidad, Julio Cesar Chavez on the same bill. I think this tops it. I believe that all the young fighters here are here to prove something, and they're going to show it Saturday night. These are not easy fights. These are pick-em fights, and I do want to thank Eddie Hearn. I do want to thank Shakur Stevenson for being very professional, and I'm sorry for what happened to Kid Austin. And because I know, as a fighter myself, I know that all the hard work and dedication you put into this fight. So, and all the very best, Eddie. You stepped in, and you made it happen. So this fight, this card is going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. And what can I tell you about Virgil Ortiz? Every single opponent, except for one, has gone down, has been knocked out.
not only does it show you how strong he is, how active he is, his determination, but how smart he is. Virgil Ortiz is not going to go in there and, yeah, he wants to put in a show. He wants to put on a great show for everyone to watch, because this card, this Riyadh season card, is going to be televised globally for everyone to enjoy at a fraction of a cost of pay-per-view. And we have to thank Turkey Al Sheikh. We have to thank Salah and Dr. Rakan for putting this incredible card together. But I'll tell you one thing. I love the main event, Bivol, Beterbiev. It's an amazing rematch. But this fight here, I believe, as a fighter, not as a promoter, as a fighter, this fight right here will steal the show on Saturday night. Not because I dislike anybody, it's because these young men are the best in their weight division. They're the best at what they do. They're strong, they're powerful, they're smart, and they want to prove that they're the best at 154. So, guys, enjoy, que disfrutan esta gran pelea, esta gran noche de peleas. Así que gracias, muy amable. Thank you very much, Turkey. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you, Oscar. Well, let's bring in Israel Madrimov. And I just have one question for you, Israel. I know you're not big on talking, but they call you the Dream. Tell us why you are a nightmare for Virgil Ortiz on Saturday night.
Assalamu alaikum. Since my debut, I always chased big fights. Thanks to Riyadh season, His Excellency. I have another big fight. Inshallah, I show great fight on Saturday. I want to show my skills for fans, boxing fans, because.
Okay, let's hear from Virgil Ortiz. Thank you, Israel. Great stuff. Well, Virgil, you have sounded very motivated all week. You've been talking about how you want to be a throwback fighter. This is a throwback kind of fight. Tell me what you're thinking. How are you going to get the job done?
First of all, I want to thank Turkey for giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills over here in Saudi Arabia, across the world. I want to thank my promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, people working in Golden Boy, Devin De La Hoya, Larry out here doing the videography, Jane, and, my coaches, Robert Garcia, my dad, Hector Beltran, Robert Garcia Jr., Charles Tremblay, anyone that I might have missed, just thank you. Without you guys, I would not be here. And, there's not much to say. I think that, in my opinion, trying to be unbiased as I can, this is the best fight on the card. It's going to steal the show. But I'm very excited to see all these other fights happen in person. Very privileged to be here. And I'm not going to let this opportunity go to waste. So nothing much else to say. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Virgil Ortiz. We look forward to Saturday night.
And thank you to Dr. B for coming. All right, sorry.
A couple of legends just arrived in the building. I can see Lennox Lewis and Bernard Hopkins taking their seat. Great stuff. Let's talk about this surprise fight which has emerged this week in the lightweight division for the WBC World Lightweight Championship. Of course, it was meant to be Shakur against Floyd Schofield. Floyd Schofield can't fight. And in steps Josh Padley. Josh, I just want to know, what has your last 48 hours been like? Talk to us.
Everybody involved in Riyadh season, Turkey Al Sheikh and Matchroom Boxing for this opportunity. This is my second time involved in a Riyadh season event now, and I'm feeling truly blessed to be here. But the last 48 hours has been absolutely crazy for me. A dream opportunity. This is the pinnacle of boxing, and this is what I'm in it for.
Looking forward to it?
Absolutely. Like you say, this is everybody's dream. If you get into boxing, you aim for a world title. Not many people even get the opportunity fight for it, and here I have. I've got it on 4 days' notice, so I'm absolutely ecstatic.
Great stuff. Well, Shakur Stevenson, I mean, same question to you. What's the last 48 hours been like for you?
It's been kind of crazy. It's been a lot going on, but I remain focused. I know I put in a lot of work this training camp, and I'm coming here with the same mentality. I know there's a guy that want to take food off my table, and I'm not going to let him.
Bit of a danger of the unknown here. How are you dealing with that?
I mean, I fought in the amateurs. I feel like it reminds me of the amateurs where you don't know who you're going to fight next. So it's okay. I mean, I'm going to go fill them out, and then I'm going to take care of business.
More pressure to get the job done?
Nah, it's always a little bit of pressure, but like I said, I'm locked in, I'm focused, and I'm coming to get them.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Shakur. Thank you, Josh Padley. Great to see you here, Josh. We're going to do a face-off between the fighters now, and we'll be back very shortly for the main event. Thank you.
So that concludes the... I'm slightly reluctant to describe it as an undercard press conference. There is no undercard on this card, but that's the best description I can give it. I don't think I've heard the word bang said in a fight week ever more than I have this week. It's Dev Sarni's fault. It's Dev Sarni's fault. He started all of this a while ago when Gilles Jean came over to the UK to box against Joe Joyce. So joining us is none other than Anthony Yards, who was making light of some of the complaints people have made this week about it getting a bit cold in the evening. You're looking in fine form as always.
Happy to be here. It's a great card. A fight I'll be watching very closely is Joshua Buatsi, Callum Smith, and also the main event. So I'm excited to be here.
There's a lot to go on for light heavyweights, isn't there? It's been that way from the start. I was with Buatsi at lunchtime today, actually, just doing a quick sit down with him, and inevitably your name entered the equation, and he does say he's happy to say it, that if he gets a win on Saturday, then it's something he wants before the end of the year. And there's been a bit of to and froing with you, with your promotional situation over the last year or so, but it seems settled now. So is that something that could happen?
There's no promotional situation. For me, I want this fight to happen as soon as possible, sooner rather than later, and we'll make it exciting, because he's started to make me not like him. So that's when I'm a dangerous person. And obviously, I hope he gets the job done tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday, and we'll put in a good fight.
I mean, even should he not win, then that fight could still be there, possibly, who knows. But let's just talk about that fight itself, Buatsi against Smith. It's a really good matchup, and one, to be honest, that I wasn't really expecting to see. I think it took Riyadh season to make it happen. How do you see it?
To be honest, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think people are writing off Smith based on the Beterbiev performance. But again, he's a former world champion. He's been in there with great opponents. He's even been there with Canelo. And I think it's a dangerous fight for Buatsi. I would have preferred if it was me in there. I think it would have been a better build-up, more excitement. It's what the public want to see. But I hope he gets the job done. But I do think it's a 50-50 fight.
Well, the face-offs are getting underway. That's Engel Gomez on the left-hand side there. Mohamed Alakel on the right, training under Joe Gallagher, of course. Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren in the background. I wonder if he'll get anything similar to what we saw between Usyk and Fury back in December, that 11-minute, 16-second stare-off. It's an interesting thing, the face-off fight. I think we talked about it quite a lot, Matt and Johnny, but from your point of view, Anthony, what always seems to me is that if it goes past 30 seconds, then it becomes a thing and you can't look away. Is that how you treat it?
Say that again, sir?
If a face-off goes beyond 30 seconds as they're staring each other down like they are there, then that's almost the cut-off point. After that, you can't just turn away and shake hands. You have to stick it out.
It's a pride and ego thing. I call it a fighter's code. When a man's looking you in your eyes, you don't want to be the one to look away first. But again, it depends sometimes how confident the fighter is and how ready the fighter is. Sometimes you just look away and say, we'll deal with things on Saturday or whenever the fight is.
what was really entertaining about the Usyk Fury one was that all sorts of people were being pushed up to the stage to try and split them up. Mauricio Suleiman being kind of barreled up there, and I'm not sure quite what people expected him to do. There was no prizing the two apart. Well, here are the two having a deep, long look into each other's eyes. Callum Smith just turns away there, just breaks the gaze, doesn't want to get dragged into any kind of nonsense. In terms of personality, I'd say these two are quite similar. Would you? They don't say an awful lot during fight week.
Great fighters, very, very good fighters, but for the public, can come across as boring. You know, people want to see a bit of excitement, and you know, they've done a face-off. I thought that this fight is such a good fight. It's a fight people should be talking about outside of boxing, and you know, hopefully they go in there and give a good account of themselves. Because again, I want to see more. I'm more about excitement, and that's what the public want to see. But on paper, it is a fantastic fight, and hopefully they give us that.
Well, just looking at Zhang and Kabayel there. He's taller than you think he is, Kabayel. He's one of those fighters, when you watch him fight, he does get quite low. He likes to attack the body. But interestingly, Matt, when you look at them there, Zhang's 6'6", unless Kabayel's got a massive pair of platforms on his trainers, then he is taller than you think he is.
Yeah, of course he's just not as big as the sort of monster heavyweights, is he? He's still a big heavyweight, and he's a mobile heavyweight, and he punches in combinations. He's pretty quick. He stays low. He's a good fighter. I would make him favourite in that fight.
The challenger, Israel.
So next up, we've got a really attractive prospect here, Virgil Ortiz and Israel Madrimov. Quite a lot of toing and froing with this one. Madrimov looked like he was going to take a fight against Sergey Bohachuk in December, when this fight was already set, which was an extremely unusual way to go about things. In the end, he thought better of it, the organisers thought better of it, which was the right thing to do. Ortiz has had a tough time over the last couple of years. Had to move up from welterweight to super welterweight, had a lot of health issues kind of based around weight making, a couple of first round blowouts, and then 12 rounds against the aforementioned Bohachuk, which I think he really needed to give him a bit of seasoning at super welter before he goes into a fight like this. I still find it enormously entertaining to see Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn just standing right next to each other in the middle of a stage. Adames against Shiraz, Johnny. Massive height difference between these two, but we've liked the vibe off the pair of them this week. But Adames as well, he's got a swagger of confidence, he's got this kind of piratical vibe about him. He feels like Shiraz isn't up to it, and he's going to show everybody.
You know, the rumours are flying around that Shiraz is tight at the weights, and you look at the size of him, you look at, you know, how's he managed to fit that into a middleweight, into that tall frame. He's unheard of. I do believe this young man could go on to be a 3-weight world champion. I'll stick to that. It's a big shout, but he's so talented. I know what this guy does in the gym. I know how he works in the gym. I know what the potential of this young man, and what an opportunity. And you know what? How often is a young man going in for a world title fight as a favourite? I think he's a favourite between the boxing folk, but it's going to be a good fight either way.
Well, this is an incredible story. Shakur Stevenson up against Josh Padley. Answered the call, Josh Padley, got the win against Mark Chamberlain. No one thought that would happen. That wasn't supposed to happen, but he got it. He captured some rankings. He's in and around the weight at all times. Interestingly, Anthony, he hasn't got a fight scheduled. He just stays in the gym. So being able to make the 3% Wednesday check weight basically hours later, and then come out and make 135. He still has to do that tomorrow, but as far as I'm aware, everyone's expecting him to do it. It's just a brilliant example to set, isn't it? 100%.
And as a boxer, I know the discipline, you know, the focus that goes into just to the making weight bit. So my hats off to him. He stepped in, and again, situation, he's done it before as well. A situation like this don't come up every day. Again, Stevenson's one of my favourite fighters to watch, and you know, hopefully he gives a good account of himself.
I'm sure he will. He didn't look overawed at all by the situation at Wembley Stadium, not one bit of it, so I don't think he's going to be falling foul of that necessarily in a couple of days' time, but he is in very deep, because Shakur Stevenson is an exceptional fighter and somebody who I think is really looking to make a bit of a statement on Saturday, because the situation he's in, if he doesn't get rid of Josh Padley, in nice quick time and in good fashion, then people will ask questions. And for someone who's done as much as he has, they're not slow to ask questions when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. So that's the first half of the press conference done. The next one is going to be really interesting, isn't it? Because who is going to turn up on that top table? They're not putting the place names out yet. We know Joseph Parker will be there, Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Will Daniel Dubois? Did Spencer Brown kind of half give it away there? Because he was talking about making fights, wasn't he? And he said he's trying to sort out Joe Parker at the moment.
It is going to be interesting. I'm trying to suss out the body language. Spencer Brown sat on stage, his phone went, he shot off into the corner. You know, people are scattering around, and you're thinking, how are they going to work through this? What are they going to suggest? What are they going to say? Now, there are options out there that we're seeing on social media. Fighters putting their hands up. So it's a case of what option will they take if Daniel Dubois can't fight? Will they take a soft touch, or will they keep this card up to level and bring in top draw? So it's a case of how they're going to play it. This is when these guys have got to earn the money, do a good job.
100%. And Billy Nelson, Martin Bacoli's trainer, took to Twitter pretty much when the press conference started, saying that they told their promoter Ben Shalom, who's here obviously, to tell the appropriate people that he's ready to get on the flight.
If they don't pick him, they should be ashamed of themselves. If they don't pick him, the reason why, because Martin Bacoli is a fighter that everybody's avoiding. He's a top 10 fighter. Now, if they decide to pick a soft touch when a top 10 fighter said, "Let me step in," then shame on them. So the pressure's now got to be on them. They've got to try. If Daniel Dubois is out, that's a fight that has to be made. It's the only common sense fight that has to be made.
It's a big shout, that though, man, because how much of a say will Joseph Parker and his team and Andy Lee have in this? Because I don't think anybody doubts Parker's minerals. No. I mean, you look at the fighters he's been in with, but it's a different guy. You know, it's a different guy.
It's always risk reward, isn't it? And risk reward at this short notice to fight a guy like Martin Bacoli, who's different to Dubois. He's a nightmare. You know, he's a really good fighter, isn't he, Bacoli? Do you know what I mean? But it's what are the other alternatives? What are the other options that he presented with? Is that the only option? Well, then he's got to take it. You know, could they offer Joe Joyce?
Options, they could offer Joe Joyce in comparison.
You know, he could offer Joe Joyce, and I could see why Parker would rather take that fight, because Joyce is slowed down a bit. He has got the win over Parker, so there's a chance there for revenge, redemption. But you know, we as fans, we want to see the Bacoli fight, because that's the harder fight.
Anthony, I kind of feel like His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh will want to make a statement here and say, okay, Martin Bacoli, in you come. This is how we roll in Riyadh season. Other people might not want to do it this way, but this is serious. We are serious.
If he does it, it wouldn't be a surprise to me, because he seems to make things happen in boxing. It will be a first for someone like Bacoli to step in last minute. My hat will go off to both men, because again, in a situation like this, as you said, you know, someone like Parker wouldn't take someone as dangerous as Bacoli at such short notice. It wouldn't usually happen.
No, I agree with that, and
it probably wouldn't happen outside of any other weight than the heavyweight as well, because you wouldn't really get a top tier fighter like that ready at 24 hours notice.
And remember, to balance it out, yes, him stepping in a dangerous opponent at short notice. Joseph Parker's been training for this for 3 months, and the rest. Martin Bacoli would have got this information today like the rest of us. So for him to get in and put on the performance, that balances it out regardless of how dangerous it is. And realistically, if I was Joseph Parker, because Martin Bacoli will itch his way to the top, if you're going to do it now and get this guy out of the way while he's ill-prepared.
Yeah, but if I'm training or managing and looking after Martin Bacoli, I'm saying to him, you've got to stay in the gym, because the only way you're going to get the option is something like this.
That's how I won the European title twice. You know, you've got to be gym fit. You've got to be ready for people to pull out to step in. That's why I defended my title so much. So this is a lesson to fighters, to make sure you live in the gym. You can't play boxing. You can play golf, you can play football, cricket, everything. You can't play boxing. It's got to be your lifestyle.
And I tell you what, this conversation demonstrates just what a brutal business this is, because we're talking about who's going to come in. Daniel Dubois, Anthony, stablemate of yours for a really long time. You know him pretty well. He's in the form of his life. This is after the real kind of coronation against AJ, although he was already champion. I know he saw that as him really winning the world title.
Good evening, everyone.
He was ready to rumble, but okay, here we go.
Mauricio
Sulaiman has taken to the stage, so let's have a listen.
And the president of the WBC, the World Boxing Council. My father was in boxing all his life, and he grew up seeing all the sacrifices, all the dreams that all the fighters have from all over the world. And he had a dream. He passed away 11 years ago when he was just going to start the Professional Boxing World Cup. 14 months ago, the boxing world has changed due to the arrival of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh season, and the leader, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. What we have seen in this past year and a half is the greatest fights, the greatest events that anyone could dream of. And this is what's going to happen this Saturday night. When I had the honor to meet Turki Al-Sheikh, we talked about the fighters and his passion for boxing. I shared with him my father's vision and dream, and immediately he said, let's make it happen. It is then that we put together with Sela and with the tremendous support and vision and leadership of Turki Al-Sheikh, Dr. Rakan and his team, the Riyadh season WBC Boxing Grand Prix. This is the first ever event in which the young talent are going to have the opportunity to come out from the unknown parts of the world, to have the opportunity to shine through the Grand Prix of boxing. It is about weight, 4 weight categories: featherweight, super lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. 32 fighters per division, which is 128 fighters in total. The first round is at 6 rounds. Then the final is going to be 8 rounds. 5 events in total here in Saudi Arabia, in different cities of the kingdom. I am so proud and so enthused to see what we have had. We're going to have a series of innovations. There will be no draw. There's going to be open scoring after the 2nd and the 4th round, so the fighters and the fans are alert of the official scores of the judges. Instant replay. And today we have, out of the 1,000 applications, fighters from 41 countries of the world. The grand season is going to start precisely in April. We're going to be announcing very soon who those 128 fighters are. And at this moment, I would like to ask one of the greatest champions in the history of boxing, who is going to be one of the ambassadors for this Riyadh season WBC Boxing Grand Prix, to come and present the official trophy, Mr. Lennox Lewis.
This is every boxer's dream, to box for the WBC belt. So this is their opportunity, and here it is.
Thank you so much, champ. We'll be explaining in detail within next week everything that is going to be happening. I'm also very proud, very thankful to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. As I said, to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, Dr. Rakan, Ali, and the whole team. We have put a great team together to make it happen, and it's going to be sensational. Thank you so very much. Inshallah, God bless you, and enjoy this Saturday night. Thank you.
So Maurizio Suleiman there, the president of the WBC, the World Boxing Council, announcing the WBC Boxing Grand Prix. We'd heard bits and pieces about this, but good to flesh it out there. Basically, it's a straight knockout tournament, 4 different weight divisions: featherweight, super lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight, if memory serves. 32 fighters in each weight, no seeding. Will make a draw and they will go at it, starting with 6 rounders, 5 events, or rather I think held in 5 different locations in Saudi Arabia. The idea being that you unearth the next generation of talent by giving them an opportunity that maybe some of them wouldn't get otherwise, because we all know that boxing is a business and not just a sport, professional boxing, and there are lots of fighters out there who are good but who can't necessarily sell a ticket, don't really have any particular backing, and then more than anyone else, this is what they need, isn't it?
Well, we were just talking about Martin Bacoli, weren't we? We were talking about fighters that the Who Needs Him club, and they get froze out a little bit, and it's a shame because in sport generally the best fight the best, because boxing's not just a sport, it's a business. I know all sports business, but you know what I mean, a business where the promoters can swerve people. Yeah, sometimes you need an opportunity, like someone getting injured and you come in last minute, but for them to be actually putting out a tournament there to bring through the young talent, like you say, fighters that wouldn't normally get that opportunity, it's a great thing to see.
And I think if it's handled right too, it can really kind of capture the imagination, because our colleague with DAZN, Sergio Mora, we see him a lot, and he built a massive profile off the back of winning The Contender, didn't he? They really went for that with the TV. I don't know how easy it would be to replicate that, but the kind of tournament style and looking to unearth new talent and give them some exposure, it can really work.
Our sport is now finally starting to take shape, create a structure where it's taking care of the young men that are risking their life, risking their time, risking their careers to have a stable life in our sport. So now what Riyadh season are doing, they're creating tournaments so fighters can earn decent money, own their own house, be all right after the sport itself. They're trying to create a structure where fighters are taken care of. It's the only sport. Football has it, basketball has it, rugby has it. Ours is the only sport that when you're done, you're done, you're out, you're gone, you're in the trash. So now they're trying to create tournaments where it's taking care of the guys that put their life on the line. It's not the promoters and the managers that are living large afterwards, the fighters that put their life on the line. And I love seeing that, because I know too many brilliant fighters that you'd be shocked to see where they are now. So now this is creating a platform for fighters to have a good afterlife after they finish boxing.
And good fighters that are top fighters, but might not necessarily be the most marketable, might not be great talkers, but they're getting their shot. And also, what's been good I've found with the Riyadh season is if you put on a good, you lose, but you perform well and you're in a good fight, you'll get another go. They bring you back and give you another opportunity.
As I said, we'd heard a few, well, more than whispers about it, but it was good to see Maurizio and Suleiman up there announcing it, because I think it'll work. I really think it'll work, and it's just more big-time boxing heading for this part of the world. Before he got up on the stage there, we were just talking about Daniel Dubois, your stablemate, and how we're already kind of forgetting about him in talking about who's going to come in and replace him. But it is a brutal business, this, isn't it? Because he'll be, if the rumours we're hearing are true, and I think they're getting more true all the time, to be honest with you, he will be absolutely devastated.
He will be so devastated. His team will be devastated, and weeks and weeks of preparation, sacrifice. I know Daniel's he's very disciplined anyway, so he don't go out and in the gym. So, but he would have been in the gym working very hard for, again, to perform on a big stage like this. So I feel for him. I hope he's okay, and we all want to see him back soon.
Well, I'm just peering over my shoulder at the top tables. Joseph Parker has taken his seat. Frank Warren is up there as well. Beterbiev and Bivol will be joining them soon. There is no Daniel Dubois. I'm not sure whether we'll get anything concrete in terms of a replacement in the next few minutes. I wouldn't have thought so. I'd imagine they'll just break the news to us that they're on the lookout and that the fight is still going to go ahead. I'm taking a little bit of a flyer there, but I think we can pretty safely say that that is the situation, and it's just a question of who they are able to get in at this notice, with everybody being happy. The people's vote is already going overwhelmingly in favour of Martin Bacoli, so we will see what materialises. It just brings yet another dramatic twist to what has already been a great week. Okay, here is the legend himself, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the final press conference for The Last Crescendo, an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment, with a top-to-bottom card considered by many to be the best in the history of the sport. And it's all right here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at the ANB Arena Saturday night. And it's brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GEA, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Gold Star Promotions, World of Boxing, and Sella. Our sponsors for this event are the Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Murabba Development Company, Tawunia, Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Al Tanifi. Special thanks, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, and the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. So, ladies and gentlemen, the main event, Saturday night, the rematch the world has been waiting for. Will it be revenge? Will it be repeat? We're all going to find out in almost 48 hours. So at this time, let's bring the fighters to the stage here, ladies and gentlemen, for this final press conference. First of all, that contest is scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing, the two very best light heavyweights in the world, for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Please welcome first the challenger, an excellent professional record, 24 fights, 23 victories, 12 wins by knockout, only one defeat. He's looking for revenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol, and his opponent, also with an outstanding record, but it happens to be a verdict one. He has 21 fights, 21 victories, 20 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undisputed, reigning, defending, light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterbiev. The reigning and defending champion, Artur Beterbiev. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, let me turn it over to our host, the always dapper, the always eloquent, Dev Sane.
Well, thank you very much, Michael Buffer. By the way, if you're going to have the greatest fight card in history, you've got to have the greatest MC in history. Let's hear it for Michael Buffer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, of course, the main event is a huge rematch, and I feel like since the rematch has been announced, the world has had a countdown timer in its head waiting. Well, that countdown is nearly over. Saturday night, Beterbiev and Bivol, they do it all over again. I'm going to start by bringing in Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren here. Frank, there are reports out there surrounding a situation with Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. What can you tell us?
Excuse me. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, Daniel's been evaluated by a doctor, and when we have more news, we will share it with you and update you.
Joseph Parker is here. Joseph Parker is sat down. Joseph, just keen to get your thoughts. What's going on in your head right now?
If he is ill, hope he gets better soon, and I'm looking forward to Saturday and putting on a great show.
Okay, let's bring in Spencer Brown as well. I've seen you've been on the phone a fair bit. What's going on from your end?
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussions. Like Frank says, he's been assessed by a doctor at the moment, so we are just trying to find out whether it's good or bad news. But whatever it's going to be, Joe's there. there will be a fight Saturday. Whoever's there, Joe's ready to fight. He's ready to go. He's ready to win. So that's it. Whoever we're going to fight Saturday, Joe's up for it. He doesn't care. He's one of them fighters. He'll fight anybody.
And Joe, just a final one from you here, because you have come to Riyadh in the shape of your life to confirm you're ready to go.
I am ready to go. I put in all the hard work with my team in Ireland. I'm here now in Riyadh, and come on Saturday.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph Parker. Okay, let's talk about this main event. We all watched it in October. It was an incredible 12 rounds of boxing. The undisputed World Light Heavyweight Championship on the line. Beterbiev picked up the win that night. I want to begin by bringing in Vadim Kornilov from the Bivol side from World of Boxing Promotions. And Vadim, I'm keen to hear what you've seen in Dmitry Bivol's mentality. It's the first time he has a loss on his record, first time as a challenger. What have you seen and what are you expecting on Saturday?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Riyadh Season, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, World of Boxing, Rybinski, and everybody involved. This is a great opportunity for us, and I was in camp with Dmitry the entire camp this time, and I thought he was going to win the first time. I thought the fight was very close. When His Excellency wants something, he makes it happen. When he sees injustice, he tries to correct it. And this is what happened the next day after the fight. You know, we sat down, we talked about it, and everybody agreed. Much respect to Top Rank, to the entire team of Artur Beterbiev for giving us the rematch opportunity. Dmitry is more focused than ever. Gennady Mashyanov, Taylor Ramsdale, everybody knows that everything is on the line here. I've never seen Dmitry more focused, and I know that this time he will finish what he started. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vadim. Let's bring in Brad Jacobs from the Beterbiev side, from Top Rank. And you've just heard Vadim there from the Bivol side say he saw an injustice back in October. What did you see and what are your thoughts?
I certainly did not see an injustice. I thought Arthur won the fight very closely, but won the fight. Certainly the last 3 rounds were clearly Arthur's, but on behalf of Bob Arum, Top Rank, we're thrilled to be part of another event here in Riyadh. When you see a classic bout like we did in October, the fans beg to get a rematch, and thanks to His Excellency and everyone in Riyadh Season, we now have one, and it's unusual to have it so quickly, and it's a testament to both fighters, so we're thrilled to be a part of it and be here, and we're looking for another victory for Artur Beterbiev.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Let's bring in Eddie Hearn, of course, Dmitry Bivol's promoter, who very much had Bivol winning. I think you said you've watched the fight back several times, and he won it every time. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fantastic fight, first time around. One of the best fights I've seen up close. For me, for 9 rounds, Dmitry Bivol completely dominated the fight. And yes, Beterbiev did come on strong and win 10, 11, 12. I stand by Dmitry Bivol won the fight, but it was a fantastic fight between 2 great fighters. But it's done now, it's over. And the great thing for fans and for the fighters we get the opportunity to run it back. And, you know, I want to echo what Vadim said. We want to thank Artur Beterbiev because he is now the champion. You know, he is the hunted, and he's been the hunter for a long time. And I just see the look in this man's eye this week. I see something different. I couldn't believe how well Bivol took the defeat. You know, it's up to the judges, not up to me. No sulking, no moaning. Unbelievable mindset from this man. And I'm just truly believe you're going to see one of the great performances from Dmitry Bivol this weekend. I'm very confident that he becomes the undisputed champion. I believe he should have been last time, but now that's done, that's over. And I expect another fight for the ages between 2 great champions. But for me, I truly believe Dmitry Bivol will be undisputed champion this weekend.
Great stuff. Thank you, Eddie. And just another one for you, Eddie. You've got a fairly interesting relationship with Artur Beterbiev. I remember that first press conference. I saw something. Artur did an interview with DAZN earlier this week, and he was asked about you. and he said, "Who is Eddie Hearn?" Did you see that?
You always try and do this to me, Dev, don't you? I did see that interview. I was a bit sad, to be honest with you. I thought, Artur Beterbiev said, "Who is Eddie Hearn?" Look, you don't know what to believe these days, but there are unconfirmed reports that back in Canada, Artur Beterbiev does own a copy of my book. He bought the latest Men's Health magazine with me on the cover and has pre-ordered the Eddie Hearn pyjamas that drop in 2025. So we don't know what to believe, but in all seriousness, we try and have a little bit of fun. Artur Beterbiev is one of the great fighters of our generation. I respect him as a champion, but we're desperate for victory on Saturday, and may the best man win.
Thank you, Eddie. Let's just get an immediate reply from Artur Beterbiev there. I hope he was listening to that. Is this true, Artur? Have you pre-ordered Eddie's book? Have you got some pyjamas, Eddie Hearn pyjamas? Anything to say?
I don't understand what they say. Who is it? Yeah. But it's not true. No.
I was just saying we're friends.
I can't
right?
say anything like you say always anything like,
I know.
What you want to say always like this.
I was just saying that deep down, we're very good friends.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
You give me opponents and I beat them, right?
Yeah, there you go. So we're friendly.
We do good business.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Exactly.
Continue.
You've been planning that one.
Let's bring in Dmitry Bivol here. Dmitry, the first fight was undefeated versus undefeated. It was champion versus champion. This time, it's champion versus challenger. What does that do for your mentality heading into Saturday?
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you again to my team who was with me, to my promoter, to Eddie Hearn, to Andrei Rybinski, Katie Dubois, she's here. Everybody who was involved in my career, I want to say thank you. And of course, big thank you to His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh and Saudi Arabia for this opportunity for me. And of course, thank you to Beterbiev to give me a rematch. Thank you. I'm just thankful inside of me, and I want to go to the ring and be winner.
You said this one is about revenge. How much has revenge been motivating you?
All athletes, we want to win always. We so
Gamblers.
we're like gamblers, and of course I wasn't winner last time. Now I want, and it's burning inside of me, and I wanna go. I wanna change something because I can see where I was wrong, in which points, and I wanna change it. As an athlete, I want it so much.
Well, let's bring in Artur Beterbiev. Dmitry Bivol is driven by revenge. What is driving you on Saturday night?
I want to defend my belts. Very simple. Yeah.
Are you happy with the first fight?
Yes, because I win this fight.
What was your biggest learning from that first fight?
There is many things. It's too long to telling you. Let's talk after fight.
Can we do some talking now at the press conference, though, please?
No, I like everything. Like we sit with my team, see a fight. It's always different. Like when you see a fight, we make something different. Try to be correct. Something. We're working on it.
In that first fight, for the first time in your career, 3 men ringside got to decide whether or not you had won. Would you prefer on Saturday we do not need to speak to those 3 men and you decide for yourself?
We'll see. We'll see.
Dmitry, one for you. We talked earlier in the week, and you said that this time you will need to take more risks against Artur Beterbiev. What does that mean? What can you tell us?
You asked me about the risk, and I answer, yeah. Every time when you are changing the punches, of course it's a risk. And with this fighter like Beterbiev, it's changing the punches, it's a risk. And yes, sometimes I need to do it, sometimes more.
Artur Beterbiev, final one to you. I know you're not a postman, I know you're not going to have a big message like that, but what is your message to the world ahead of Saturday night?
Don't miss our fight, it's going to be a good fight.
And Dmitry, again, not a postman, but the world wants to know, what will you deliver on Saturday?
Yeah, you like first fight, I'm sure the second fight will be not less interesting than first fight. Turn on your TV, DAZN, and watch the fight on February 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you everyone at this table. Let's get these fighters faced off. Thank you.
So there we have it. Pretty short and sweet that, by press conference standards. Some good fun there between Beterbiev and Eddie Hearn. Dev Sarni did well to find a different little angle, because he knows that Beterbiev and Bivol are not going to say anything other than we'll see. They know better than to make predictions. It was incredibly close the first time around. We expect it to be the same the second time around. As regards the situation surrounding Daniel Dubois, a holding brief there really from Frank Warren and Spencer Brown, saying that he's being assessed by a doctor currently, and when they have some news, then we will also have some news. So that is the line, and that is what we will stick to. It doesn't stop us speculating, of course. You can never stop people wildly speculating about all sorts of things, but you look at these two, Matt, and they are just operators of the absolute highest caliber. You look at every facet of their life, inside and outside of the ring, and you just can't find any fault with either one of them, really.
No, they're the epitome of true professional, at the top of their game, going in against each other in a rematch after having literally fought each other with nothing in between that fight. It was so razor thin. Beterbiev come out the other side of it. Bivol will be desperate to reverse that. And listen, if he does, I think we'll see a trilogy.
I think the neutrals would love to see a trilogy, and as Dev pointed out to Beterbiev as he just makes his way off stage, it was the first time that he's had that uncomfortable experience of waiting for scorecards to be read out, and he won't have enjoyed it because nobody really knew at the end of that fight which way it was going to go. He may have been about to experience something even more uncomfortable for the first time, which would have been a defeat. It didn't happen in the end. He had his hand raised and was declared undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, but it was just such a high quality encounter. And as for the situation with Daniel Dubois, Johnny, they said all that they could say up there. Really, it's still pretty fresh, so you wouldn't expect much more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, we need some meat on the bones with this. Everybody's speculating. We'll all get excited about dream fights that and scenarios that could happen. I've just dropped one in saying, can you imagine Bakoli steps in, beats Parker, then he steps in to fight Oli Zanusik, and everybody else is out in the cold. There are wish fights out there, but let's just see if Daniel Dubois is actually out. Let's just see if that chief support fight is still happening or not. Everybody's keeping tight-lipped, but I'm quite sure in the next 24 hours they'll tell us a hell of a lot.
I've got to say, I do love the Thursdays out here in Riyadh. You know, it can be a slow week, but by the time we get to Thursday and the crowd come in the media and the Rocky IV album banging in the background, it just goes up a few levels, doesn't it, the excitement?
It does. Fight weeks are like that. When you arrive on a Sunday, you kind of get into this cocoon and you don't get out of it again until you get home the week after, and it's absolutely fantastic. But it's kind of hard sometimes to get a real gauge on where the excitement level is at, because this is what we do and we love it and we're excited about every card. But it's when you get to this point of the week, that's when the juices really start to flow. And if you then throw in some high drama, and we'd already had some with Josh Padley, now we've got even more. Let's say Daniel Dubois is okay to fight, all of a sudden we're back where we started, but we'll have had all this maelstrom of activity in the meantime. It's a very unpredictable sport.
What's happened this week would be an absolute nightmare for any average bill. But it's not, because every single fight, well, the first two could be a headliner. So if you're a fight fan, you're still going to be satisfied. We've gotten used to being spoiled. So now, if Daniel Dubois does or doesn't fight, regardless, this is still an amazing bill. 4:45 around 4:45. Smith Boatsi. What a way to start a card! It's going to be daylight in the UK when this is on. You know what I mean? And so to have such a high caliber, high profile fight to really ramp a night up, you can't wish for anything more.
Madrimov Ortiz is probably the fight we've talked about least this week. That could be the best fight of the night.
Yeah. What's been interesting over the last couple of days is looking at Twitter and seeing colleagues from all over the world basically ranking the list of fights, ranking the 7 fights in order of which one are they looking forward to most. And everybody's different. Everybody has something different. Not many people, or certainly not everybody, has got Beterbiev Bivol at the top of the list, which, you know, comes as a bit of a surprise to me. But having said that, you just look down this list and, okay, Dubois versus Parker, we'll see. But we know that there'll be somebody on the left-hand side. That was confirmed. There will be somebody on the left-hand side there. Joseph Parker will fight Adames against Shiraz for the WBC middleweight title. I just make that such a good fight. I think Shiraz with UK bookmakers is favourite, but I think that's a situation we see relatively often, where there's a fighter we don't know too much about, the sporting public doesn't know too much about, and there's a lot of heat and hype around the one that we do know, and on the exchanges it skews things a bit. Money goes on the fighter that people know, and therefore sometimes actually you can get a very good price in a 2-horse race in those types of situations. But yeah, I make you right with Ortiz against Madrimov. That's an absolutely fantastic fight. Here's Thomas Schreiber.
News to share with you. The famous Fatal Fury video game is back after 25 years. The beta test is open, and you can go and download the game right now. Pre-orders are open now and will grant exclusive access to the Ring Boxing event on April 26th at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, England. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to welcome some great boxers to put their video game skills to the test in a Fatal Fury match. Let's now welcome the participants. First, Zhilei Big Bang Zhong and Agit Kabayel.
Ready, Saturday. I bang you.
And now, let the game begin.
Well, there you have it. Fatal Fury City of Wolves, a computer game which is making a comeback, reintroduced after a quarter of a century away. It does look pretty familiar, actually. I wasn't a big console guy when I was younger, but they're firing that one back up, and I think we're going to see it quite a lot when we're in London at the end of April around Eubank against Ben. And Zhilei Zhang and Agit Kabayel have volunteered to give it a spin, and I guess it makes sense to pick a couple of heavyweights to stick around after a press conference and do this. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else is involved, because if you're making weight, then you'd be drawing straws, wouldn't you, as to who had to stick around and get involved in a bit of this. It's a spectacular backdrop, that. We're in the Fountains part of Boulevard City. We've been all around this place over the course of the last 15, 16 months, and it never lets you down. And it certainly looks like this card doesn't really have any possibility of letting us down. Let's just go back and have a bit more of a chat about Josh Padley, because I said it a few minutes ago. He came through Wembley, he had that experience, he had plenty of notice for that. He had about 12-13 weeks, so he had a lot of time to get used to it. But having said that, the week itself would have been completely new, and you can't really know how that's going to affect you until it happens. And I think I kind of quite glibly said that having gone through that, then he should be able, or will be able, to take the fact that he's parachuting into a massive event in his stride. Is that necessarily the case, though?
The only thing that's got in his favour is the art of surprise. That's the only thing he's got in his favour. He's going in with an outstanding champion, outstanding fighter. So he's just got the art of surprise. And as long as he's been training, as long as he's doing all that hard work, to me, as far as I'm concerned, he's got a great opportunity to at least showcase who he is. So even if he didn't win, I'm quite sure he'll put up a good show for himself. But I just think these kind of fights, I hated them when I boxed. And when I hear things like this happening, you've got somebody stepping in at last minute notice. It's a nightmare, because if you're the main fighter and your opponent pulls out, you kind of deflated, thinking, God. And it's more of a mental thing more than a physical thing. But you've got to up your game to get rid of whoever they're slipping in front of you, and that's when opportunity knocks. So for Josh Padley, opportunity is knocked for him, and he'll go out there and give it his all. A box to the best of his ability. So you know what, it's good on him, man. I'm really glad for him.
And he's got absolutely nothing to lose, and it's too close to the fight for him to really get too nervous or overthink it. You know, he's here now. He's weighing in tomorrow. He's fighting on Saturday. You know, like I say, he's got everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Can you imagine the upset? Can you imagine?
Biggest ever.
Biggest. It'd beat Lloyd Donegan.
It would be absolutely huge. We were talking about Steve Robinson the other day coming in at 48 hours notice. It would be up there with that. I was thinking about Azuma Nelson stepping in against Salvador Sanchez. He didn't win the fight, but he was kind of 12 or 13-0 at that point. Azuma Nelson boxed in Africa, and Salvador Sanchez was absolutely supersonic, and he did really well, but he didn't win. And that's the thing. If he somehow managed to win, Josh Padley, it would be incredible. These things can go wrong sometimes, though, because we saw Ellis Zorro, for example, in against Jai Opataya, got knocked out, pretty badly knocked out in the first round. But we've got a good recent example of how they can go right, even if it turns out that you are badly out of your depth, because Ishmael Davis against Serhij Bohachuk, they took that fight on short notice. It turned out on the night that Bohachuk was, at the stage of his career he's at, Davis, and this is fine, there's no shame in it, it was way too much. It was a torrid start, but then he dug in, rallied, showed us something for a couple of rounds, and then when it turned again, the corner did what they absolutely had to do and got him out of there. And Steffi Ball is a very experienced guy. Jason Cunningham,
exactly. Let's
they've got to make sure, haven't they?
He's not too brave with their fight.
If it gets rough,
and common sense tells us this. You know, that's how we'd expect it to go, because Stevenson's an amazing fighter. Common sense. So this comes down to Steffi Bull doing a good job, making sure he's taking care of his charge, making sure he's taking care of his fight. Let him go out there, let him have a good run for his money. We'll all have our fingers crossed that Doncaster boy does it, but in reality, common sense has to prevail.
And that's the thing, isn't it? If Stevenson, and we've no reason to think that he won't, really turns up and is razor sharp and vicious and gets on top of him quick, and you just look at it and you just think, this is way too much, then the corner can't be worrying about how it looks, or it's only 2 or 3 rounds. They've just got to do what's right.
No, it could be painful. It could be painful early if Shakur comes out, and means business, which he sounds like he's gonna. But even if he did get took out in a round, and this is where Steffi Bull and them, they're not going to leave him in there for a bit to take a prolonged beating. But if you say he got took out in the first round with one shot,
so what?
So what? Do you know what I mean? So what? He's still come over here. He's fought for a world title against a pound for pound, someone that's going to be a pound for pound great Hall of Fame. He's already a pound for pound great, and he'll have been paid handsomely.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it unfolds. They've got about 48 hours before they're going to enter the ring. Most have to make weight tomorrow, so probably not in for the most enjoyable evening. They're in the final stages, that final burn, that final twist of pain before you get on the scales. It says what you want it to say, hopefully, and then you can step off them and start to replenish and refuel. And what we're waiting for, of course, between now and then, and we'll get some news, you would have thought, by some point tomorrow, maybe late tonight, because Dubois is being assessed by the doctor as we speak. We will get news as to whether he is going to be answering the final bell against Joseph Parker, or whether it is going to be somebody else, and if indeed it is somebody else, then who? My thanks to you two. Been great fun as always, Matt, Johnny. Thanks for joining us. Catch us tomorrow for the weigh-in.